one thing that we talked about is, the first time, when people used to barter. I was, I do like to teach my son about some common sense financial things. So I was teaching him about what money actually is. And I found myself exploring, he's 8, turning 9. But this is a couple of years ago when we were talking about it. He understands the way business works now. But part of that, we need to understand, well, what is actually money? So we went back and talked about the history of how they never used to be money, and people used to you'd have a baker and a butcher and a farmer, and they would exchange goods. And that's how towns and societies came about. That's how civilizations grew, through the bartering system. And then one day people came up with this stuff that could be used
Abstractions of value.
rather than having to have a cow that I could
Yeah.
swap for
Yeah.
your bread. I could actually say, look, I've got some money that you can swap things for. So it becomes an intermediary system, which is what it is. So going back to your example of, the first person that grabbed a lump of gold and said, here, I'll give you this lump of gold if I can have your goat.
Yeah.
That's, that's literally how it would have been, right? And it would have needed enough people in that town, or enough people to say, yes, we like this shiny gold thing because looks shiny and we can make it into
Or it's
jewelry,
scarce.
and it's scarce, it's hard to
Yeah.
find. And okay, yeah, and we trust it, and we trust the people using it, so that we're going to use it. And then we go to, I'm going to give you a piece of paper for your lump of gold. And by this point, people are valuing gold. And this thing called gold is really worth something. And you don't want to lose it. You got to be really careful with it. But then all of a sudden, we're handing over a piece of paper. What's pay? It's just, or coins, this piece of,
Yeah.
I guess it's, when it first was being like little coins made of brass or copper or
Or
whatever,
silver.
or
And it
silver.
was actually worth its weight in its silver or in
Yeah,
gold.
yeah.
And then we have
Yeah.
then moved to yet another degree of abstraction beyond it, where it's got nothing to do with the actual weight of the value of the metal anymore. So it's just degrees of abstraction that we continue to add on to it.
Yeah. So you're suggesting that this idea of, let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's say that Bitcoin is a group of people that is now a market worth $1 trillion. What it actually is a group of people who are agreeing that it is worth something, and it's got, we talked about blockchain and the reasons why people agree that it's worth something. And we're at the stage, $1 trillion is a drop in the ocean. So it's this very small group of people who have agreed on it, and the rest of the world and the rest of the market really, which is still operating with regular currencies, are still coming to terms with, hang on a sec, why would I accept that this thing called this digital currency is worth swapping my real money for, in inverted commas? Is that kind of what you're suggesting?
Yes, in a lot of senses.
And so the potential is that if blockchain technology, if digital assets, digital currency becomes more widely adopted, and we are seeing that with a lot of businesses using it, but let's say if and when, or if it becomes more widely adopted, then it's like more and more people realizing that, okay, this is now a better form for us to transact value and use as a form to,
At least with Bitcoin, certainly as a value store, because why would I
yeah.
why would I want to be in an inflationary currency?